Hey guys, welcome back to Deep Dives with MaxKetchum. I'm MaxKetchum, the host, and I'm here with Tweek, one of my teammates on Luminosity, but also a really long-time friend, and I'm glad we get to do this in person. It's going to make it a little bit more fun.
Yeah, what's up?
And it's the perfect time for us to tell this guy's story in terms of Smash Brothers, life outside of Smash Brothers, and just give you a more personal look into one of the players that you see topping all these events, right?
Oh. Very fucking close.
Oh. He did it! That's it!
The Slim Reaper?
Tweek with 3, 2 stocks in a row. Take it out, SK Leo. Proving to the world right now. Who's the best? I'm the best.
Sonics, no way! No way!
And he wins the start.
Tweek 200%!
How?
Walks off looking like a beast right now! That has to be the clutchest game I've ever seen played in Smash Brothers history. I'm actually shaking, dude. Tweek!
What was the life of Gavin like before you started going to tournaments?
Was always a big Nintendo kid, basically. I loved Smash casually from the beginning. Grew up with anything Nintendo, Pokemon, like just, you know, people my age. Like I'm 26, so I grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon cards, playing Pokemon, just general Nintendo stuff. You know, nothing too crazy.
And what got you into Smash competitively? Like, obviously, we all played it growing up, right? But what made you even enlightened to the fact that there was a competitive scene?
I played a lot of Brawl with a neighbor of mine as we were kids, and I eventually just found stuff on YouTube. I found a Yoshi combo video for Brawl, and it just so happened to be what I found, and I ended up just playing Yoshi. So I found competitive online through that. I guess as a kid, while I'm competing online, I never even considered that I could actually go to these events. Like I knew they were happening, and I even knew our like Tri-State area was big for it, like competitive and all that. And for some reason, I just couldn't think of myself being in that position. Like, you know, I didn't want to ask my parents to take me anywhere. Like I felt guilty. So I would just, you know, either play online or play versus CPUs and imagine myself competing. Once the next games came out, I guess I was a little older, and it was something that popped into my head. As a kid, I was so used to my typical lifestyle, I just didn't even consider that I could also go to tournaments.
What was the first event that you ever did attend? It's funny asking you questions that I know the answers to, but you know, the people at home don't. So.
Yeah, it was Apex 2014. One of the few tournaments I attended before Smash 4. It was the first tournament I attended. Being from Jersey, and also Apex was so popular at the time that it kind of just made sense. I took the day off from school that Friday. My brother took me. He had no idea what was going on. I was really nervous. I entered PM in Brawl, went 0-2 in Brawl, won like 1 or 2 sets in PM. I was really disappointed. You're probably not surprised at this, but it's just funny looking back at child me like losing his first tournament, and I'm just upset I didn't win. Like what did I expect? But you know, I cried. I was telling my brother like I want to do this, like I want to really get better at this, and he definitely was like weirded out. Like what are you talking about? Like you actually want to do this? Yeah, I just went from there. That summer, like I got into it because of Smash 4 being revealed as a game, like announced. When I stopped playing Brawl online, I was playing a lot of Call of Duty online because my brother was in the Air Force and he was home. His leg was injured and he was home for a while, and he had his Xbox 360 and he was playing Black Ops 1, and it just looked like the craziest thing in the world to me. Like it looked like being a Nintendo kid. Like I was still playing on a CRT in my room at the time too, so like it was so different. And for my birthday that year, I got a 360 in COD, so I like fully transitioned to that. Like it's all I did all day. So like after a couple years of that, I got back into Smash because, you know, the Mega Man trailer and all that, and I was just like, I gotta get back into this. This is so cool. Like I wasn't even like a big Mega Man fan, but just you know, obviously I knew the scale of how cool that was, just in terms of the type of games I grew up with.
When did it occur to you that you actually had a future, not just as a good player or like a passable tournament level player, but potentially one of the best?
It's hard. I don't know if something clicked. It's more so it's like something clicked for everyone around me, like telling me or something. Because when the 3DS came out, I was playing it online in like a ladder, like in the same way I was playing Brawl. It was kind of repurposed just for that small window until Wii U. Why not play it and all that? I had a 3DS because of being a Pokemon fan. And I was doing really well. I was playing Bowser Jr. just because I thought it'd be cool if they put him in. I didn't think he'd be in like the ship or anything like that, but I figured I'd try him. I liked him. I kept winning. I had no idea if he was good or bad. I was just, I was like floating around like top 2 on this entire ladder with Bowser Jr. When Wii U came out, I went to my first local. My brother took me once again. It was like an hour up north. And as soon as I went in, like some people even knew who I was, and a lot of the venue was assuming I was going to win. And it was just so fast that I was just like, it was so different than the other games I was playing. I was winning convincingly, just, barely losing stocks in my first rounds. And I guess like just playing so much 3DS and just having a general background of Smash kind of accelerated some growth, and some good players would start coming to that local just because they heard about me, and some of them would beat me, and that would kind of accelerate my growth and kind of show me what, better players are. And it just happened so fast. Winning that first local for Wii U, my brother is just like, what is going on? They think you're gonna win. Like, what is happening? Like, why you and you did win? Like, I really didn't know what I was gonna do with my life, because, my family's like, we're all so driven. I feel like when we get attached to something, but I didn't really have something. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and when I wasn't sure if I was as like competitive as my dad and my brother when it came to sports. Like, I liked them, but I'd rather play Call of Duty or games. But then with Smash, I was like, oh, maybe I'm more competitive than them. So that happened really quick. It was very overwhelming, but it felt good because, I was an outcast in school. Like, played games all night, slept in school all day. Like, the older I got, the more I did that. Didn't really have any friends. Like, didn't know what I was going to do. So it became something special very fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember RMUp was the first that I had heard of you, and it
Yeah.
was because you beat Vinny for top 8.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, Vinny, like top 5 in Brawl Vinny that I drove to the tournament with?
Yeah.
And he lost
My
to
dad brought me.
a Bowser Jr. who's like 16. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that one was funny because similar to like the whole like receiving attention I didn't even deserve because I wasn't winning. Like, I was just getting a couple big wins. Me and Vinny were playing off stream, and after game 1, they were all so excited they just put us on stream. So it's 1-0 and we're switching setups, and he wins the next game. And when I win the last game, some people are like, wait, why is it over? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was...
But first to 1 each.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, that was kind of... It just happened so fast. You know what's funny? I wanted to tell you this, but it'd probably be even funnier to tell you this in a video. I think you're the only Falcon I've ever lost to in Smash 4 and Ultimate.
Hey man, I wasn't going to bring it up if you didn't.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
I'm very good versus that character. I almost told someone the other day that I've never lost to Falcon, and then I remembered.
Hell yeah,
It
let's
was
go,
you.
baby, let's go. Not just a commentator. Now I am. But yeah, dude, that was like 2 or 3 weeks after RMUp. And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was going to as much as I could.
Like,
my brother or my dad, like whoever I could, I would even lie to them and say I had a ride home, and I didn't.
Oh my
I just
God.
wanted to compete that bad.
Wow.
But the community is very nice. Someone would give me a ride. People should not do that, but I just was very
Right.
desperate to compete.
Dude, I remember the time after that we played, though. You farmed me.
Yeah, to this day, it's like one of the main reasons I keep playing. I'm a grudge holder.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's healthy or not, like it keeps me motivated. Like losing to someone multiple times in a row, like Gluto today, like losing a few in a row, like I won't be able to sleep at night type. I live on like revenge.
You're gonna make like a Gluto voodoo doll or something.
Yeah, it's the funny thing. It's not like a big list usually. It's just one person at a time, and I'm just obsessed with beating that person. And it could always be someone you don't expect. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like most people think, oh, it's Spargo or Aqua. It could just be a random person that beat me like 5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
So what are your other interests besides Smash, like now? I mean, obviously I know growing up it was mostly sports that you were kind of like corralled into, but what do you like to do for leisure?
So I moved out when I was 18, and I feel like I started, branching out. Right now, I'm big on basketball, like just big NBA guy. I love books and manga. I play a bunch of single-player games. I try to, add to my list of new experiences. I'm really big on sports psychology for like, improving at Smash. Like, I'm big on exercise and, just anything I can do to take care of my Crohn's disease. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I bounce around. I'm very obsessive when I get into something too, for sure.
I think a lot of gamers, and especially
Yeah.
competitive gamers or smashers,
Yeah.
can relate to that, yeah.
My girlfriend of 5 years, B, she also is, she has a bunch of different hobbies. Like, I feel like we kind of feed off each other. We learn new things, like get into a different game series, read a different book. Like, so it's a lot of fun. It's kind of silly, but at the same time, everything I do is also for Smash. Whether it's like super direct or not, I have a belief that like all of these things like can really help you in any way when it comes to competing for a living. Like just, learning so many things and all that. Like it kind of looks like it's branching off from Smash, and it is, but at the same time, it's also to improve as a person to compete in Smash for me. It always comes back to Smash being the reason for something I'm doing, whether it's loose. Like it might be kind of loose, but yeah, when I was younger, I think it's how I grew up too, like very competitive, like lots of sports, like, like really like running yourself down, like working hard. Like that was kind of like how I grew up, like what I was taught. So when I was competing in Smash when I was younger, it was like, I would play until I couldn't. Like wouldn't sleep much, wouldn't eat much, that's all I did. And, I think when you're younger, you think you're doing something right. Like just the more the better. And nowadays it's like the opposite. Like I barely watch. I watch a lot more because of the podcast I do, but because I don't want to have nothing to say. And I feel like I have, some valuable input about, tournament matches when I watch. But now I don't play as much. I don't watch as much. I have a very specific routine of 2 hours, and it's so much more productive. And then, when I'm not playing, like I said, a lot of this is, I truly feel like it's expanding just me as a person, like just my ability to compete. So it's very, very, very routine based. I always have a bunch of small things I do every day, no matter what. So
I think yourself as a competitor is very much a reflection of yourself as a person overall, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing well in life and you're healthy and you're taking care of everything that you need to, like, even if, just like your financial situation is in order or something that far removed from Smash, you're going to play better, right?
Yeah.
Like you'll be healthier mentally and even physically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that stuff is really important. I'm glad you mentioned the podcast too. I've never asked you why you started it. What was the motivation for it?
Over the years, I've been like not much of a content person, and it's all I hear from everyone, like you or like a million other people, is you don't do it on camera, but like like you should be yourself more, like that kind of thing. And I would practice, and I take the practice so seriously that I might not talk much, or I might turn the mic off, or no camera. And over COVID, I just had so many people in my ear saying like, you should try something different, do some content. And we tried the podcast, and and here we are. It's become such a staple that, it's the number one thing to expect from me content wise. Like it's kind of taken priority over anything else. And I think it's helped because it's kind of like a weird therapy session sometimes. If I come back from a bad tournament, well, got to show up to record on Tuesday. You know what I mean? Talk it out, like talk about it, whether I want to or not. It just, the Tweek Talks thing is kind of like a joke in terms of like when I would stream, like half the chat would just be, does this guy do anything? Does this guy speak? Like, and from so many people, they'd be like, yeah, I feel so bad seeing that because like you're like a different person. And I'm not the best with cameras and microphones. Like I'm pretty shy. Like it takes me a while to settle in, I think. So I think it was just a good idea. And over quarantine, I feel like so many things changed for me. Like I changed how I play Smash, the character I play, tried a bunch of different things, got into the podcast. It was just a good time to branch out, I think.
I think this was something that was so good for you just because now you are like super comfortable on camera. Like the community kind of knows a different side of you. Even still, I feel like, you kind of hold back a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
But all like, yo, guys, this kid is a shitter. If you see him, especially when we're hanging out, bro, there's some degenerate times, man. But yeah, like I'm glad they get to see the fun and social side of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because who knows? Like,
it's also for the people on the podcast, like they are so amazing. Like Charles and Marcus specifically, like they're like some of the closest people I've been to. This is gonna sound so weird, but all the guys, like they're really like father figures for me. Like they've all separately helped me in Smash in some way, maybe some at the same time. Like very important. Like same with you. Like y'all have been so important to me for like improving as a person in and out of Smash. It really keeps me going. And you know, it's the stuff, a lot of it is stuff we would talk about off camera, and it's one of those things where we just tried it out. And over COVID, it was interesting because it wasn't like tournament recaps at all. Mm-hmm. To this day, I prefer it if we put more of a focus on just general Smash rather than just like being like a news channel. We just figured like, why not, you know, click the live button.
Now you have something independent that's just like solidified. I think Tweek Talks could go for 50 years and people would still listen to it as long as there's a Smash Brothers.
That's how my dad always was. He was so nervous of like the variables and how unstable it could be. You know what I mean? Like he'd like to this day, I'm sure he'd rather me have just done the typical route with college. But the more things I show him that I'm doing, like, you know, that the revenue can add up to be more sustainable and it's coming from different areas. Oh, I can do this. If something goes wrong, I could do this. You know, it's hard to convince like a stubborn old man, but it helps a little bit, like having something like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey man, I think this was a great interview. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Do you have any shout outs you want to give or just anything you want to say in closing?
Shout outs to Luminosity for helping me be here. Shout outs to B for, you know, always helping me through my competition journey. Shouts to people like you that have been a part of the community for so long and pushed me forward. Shouts to the podcast. You know, shouts to anyone who supports me. Yeah, it's pretty simple, but just thank you to anyone.
All right, well, thanks so much again, man. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video, and share this out if you enjoyed it. We're going to have more of these coming at you. Sorry for the little delay in between the last episode and now, but it's been a busy summer. So we're going to get these out on a consistent basis. And yeah, have a good one.
Thank you.